What is going on, YouTube? It is good to be back here. I feel a little bit nervous, to be honest. I've been so busy. I've not really made a YouTube video in about 2 weeks now, and there's good reason. So I'll explain at the end of the video why I've been absent for the last 2 weeks or so, because I don't want that to impact on the content of this video. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is shipping terms. I want to explain them. I'll show you some pictures, some infographics, and they will hopefully make the process a bit clearer so you guys understand. Now, I've been watching videos on YouTube about other FBA gurus teaching shipping terms, and they all seem to get at least one part wrong. So I'm going to reference some pictures while I'm talking so you guys know exactly what I'm saying, and hopefully I can clear up any confusion about this topic, and hopefully clear up your FBA shipping journey so you don't make any mistakes and you're not incurring any unexpected fees. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so the first shipping term we're going to talk about is the shipping term that I recommend, so that is FOB. Now FOB stands for either freight on board or free on board, and this is basically a way of determining the responsibility between the supplier and the buyer. So obviously you are the buyer and your supplier, the person in China, they are your supplier. So FOB is an Incoterm that denotes the responsibility of at which point during the process does one party stop becoming responsible for the shipment and the next party become responsible. So with FOB, you can see the responsibility of the supplier stops the moment the product gets past Chinese customs clearance. So what they would do is, if you have paid for FOB, your supplier will board your shipment onto the vessel for you, and the second it gets onto the dock, the responsibility then changes to you. So as you can see in the picture, the second your shipment lands on the vessel, that is when your responsibility takes over, and you are now responsible all the way to your domestic location. So whether that's your home address, a third-party prepper, or an Amazon fulfillment center, you are solely responsible the second your product lands on the vessel, which will be the sea freight. You are responsible the second it lands on that boat until it lands at the destination, wherever it is that you're shipping to. So these other videos that I've watched have basically said that FOB, the point of responsibility only shifts over to you when it lands at your domestic port, which is completely wrong. The responsibility shifts when the product clears customs, so that is prior to shipping, not after the shipment has been or has landed in your port. So I need to get that clear, because if something were to happen with your shipment, if your products were damaged on the boat and you fought through FOB, it was your supplier's responsibility until your stock landed, you would be in for a nasty surprise when you found out actually you are responsible the second your product cleared Chinese customs. So that is what FOB is. It is free or freight on board, an Incoterm that denotes the responsibility from the supplier to the buyer. So the next shipping term we're going to discuss is called EXW, and this stands for Ex Works. Again, it's an Incoterm that denotes the responsibility between the supplier and the buyer. However, this time the responsibility is 100% with the buyer. So the responsibility of handling your shipment ends from your supplier the moment that they finish producing your stock. In fact, the only thing that they are responsible for is making sure they have a place where your product can be picked up from in their warehouse. That is their sole responsibility. So you can only claim back a fee against your supplier if they do not have an adequate space in their warehouse for your product to be picked up on time. That is the extent of their responsibility. So with Xworks, obviously there's no fee for Xworks because there's no responsibility from your supplier. So with Xworks, it is your job to handle your consignment literally from start to finish. So you need to hire somebody to pick up your product from your supplier's warehouse, bring it to the dock in China, have it cleared customs, and then have it shipped to your domestic port, and then have it picked up from the port at your domestic location and then dropped off at your designated location. So again, be that either your home address, a third-party prepper or a fulfillment center. So FOB and EXW or Xworks, they are the two most commonly used shipping terms for FBA businesses. However, there are a load more of shipping terms that you may come across. It's rare that you will come across the majority of them, but the other main one that you may find yourself coming across is DDP. So DDP stands for Delivery Duty Paid. So what this means is the seller has assumed absolute responsibility for your shipping from start to finish. So it's literally the complete opposite of Xworks. So with EXW, you have the complete obligation and responsibility of handling your consignment, whereas with DDP, Delivery Duty Paid, your supplier will manage your shipment from supplier's warehouse all the way to a fulfillment center or wherever it is that you are dropping your products off. Having said that, the order of how expensive those shipments will be is EXW is the least expensive because the seller has no responsibility. FOB, there is a small fee because your supplier is doing about a third of the shipping for you. So they're getting it from their warehouse to the vessel, so they were clearing customs. And obviously DDP is going to incur the highest fee because it's essentially your whole consignment. So you can expect to pay, you know, quite a lot for DDP. However, it's the most hassle-free shipping method. So I'm going to quickly show you a diagram. I'm going to put it on the screen now. So what you're going to see with this diagram is there is a load of shipping terms. So EXW, FCA, CPT, CIP, DAT, DAP, DDP, FAS, FOB, CFR, and CIF. Now, you don't need to worry about all of these shipping terms. Like I said, there are a bunch of different Incoterms. You only need to be really familiar with the ones that I've mentioned in this video. So EXW, FOB, and DDP. Those are the three most commonly occurring shipping terms. However, I'm going to leave this table up here just so you guys can see. And it's good that you can see the with the different colors in this sheet. You can see that's where the responsibility shifts from supplier to buyer. So if we take a look quickly at EXW, you can see in the top left corner it's got this key here. So the seller and the buyer, that is the responsibility. So the blue, that is the responsibility. So with EXW, the responsibility is with the seller when it is in the seller's warehouse. As soon as it leaves the seller's warehouse, going down this list, it's now orange. That is your responsibility. So you are literally responsible when you are doing EXW the moment your shipment leaves your supplier's warehouse. Now, if we go to FOB, like I said earlier in the video, your responsibility assumes once your product gets onto the vessel. So in this orange box here, that is when your responsibility takes over. So if you scan over to the left, you'll see that's where it says ocean and air freight. So once your product has loaded onto the vessel and cleared customs, that is then when your responsibility takes over. And then finally, if we go to DDP, you can see it's a blue bar all the way down, and that is because you have zero responsibility, and your supplier, as long as you have paid for it, your supplier is responsible for the entire shipping process. So that is it. Finally, someone has explained the shipping process coherently and without making any mistakes. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to be rude to other YouTubers that have tried to explain this in the past, but the fact that people get it wrong means that if you mess up in your shipping plan and you are assuming that another party is responsible for your shipment, you're going to be in for a very big shock when you find out that you're responsible and that actually there's no way of recovering any money or damages that you felt may have been somebody else's fault, because actually it turns out you may have been in the wrong and the responsibility is on your hands, and you know you can't recover any fees. So anyway, I said at the start of the video I would explain at the end of the video why I've been absent from YouTube for the last 2 weeks. The reason being is that I've been building out a course. I've kept it somewhat low key. I advertised it in my Facebook group. I only built a course in the very first place because my Facebook group were asking me to. I had people private messaging me every few days asking if I had a course, and I kept on telling people I didn't, and I felt bad because I could see that they wanted one, to the point where I finally told the guys or the people in my group that I would build a course, but only if it was something that they wanted. My Facebook group responded overwhelmingly positively, and it really blew me away, and it's taken me back. I didn't think I would have that big a response. So that board behind me, I've been working on the course. It's coming out in 2 weeks yesterday, so the 27th of February it's coming out. I'll put a link down below. If you buy it before the 27th, you will secure a 25% discount, so please go and check it out. There's a video in the Facebook group, because you can't see any of the course content just yet, because the content isn't live yet, because people have already bought the course. So if I publish the content, they're going to have access before I'm intending them to. But there's a video with insider access where I'll scroll through all of the videos that you can expect to see from the course. So yeah, please go and check it out if you're interested. If you want to learn how to do FBA like I do FBA, if you want to learn a method of e-commerce and passive income, a real opportunity to change your life. It changed my life. If you want to learn how to do that, then I would be delighted to help you out. I would love to be your mentor if you would love me to be your mentor. So go and check out the link below, and thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.